All right, Oklahoma State, Kansas in the Big 12. Oklahoma State 2.5-point road favorites in Lawrence, Kansas, 65.5 the total in this game. I think this is, you know what? I thought, Conor Mack, that if Oklahoma State had beaten Kansas State last week and not laid the egg that they did, that I'd be ready to come back here with Kansas in a terrific spot off a bye week. And I think this team needed a bye week. When you look at how things have gone, they had lost 3 in a row, tough loss to an excellent TCU team, struggled against Oklahoma, lost that game, struggled again on defense against Baylor. They needed a bye week. They looked like they were exhausted, Kansas, the last 3 games. But they now get the bye week, recharge the batteries, refuel, if you will, get ready for the home stretch here, which is Oklahoma State followed by Texas Tech, Texas, and Kansas State. So there's still some tough games coming up for Kansas here. And I was ready. I think great situational spot for Kansas at home off a bye week, chance to get right. But now you see Oklahoma State, Conor, coming off that debacle against Kansas State, 48-0. They just didn't show up. They didn't get off the bus. They didn't show up. Mike Gundy took personal responsibility in the post-game press conferences. I didn't coach these guys up. I didn't have them ready. It's my fault, which I respect them for doing. But at the same time, players got to play. And they were awful in that football game. Couldn't stop Kansas State. Couldn't stop Will Howard, the quarterback. Couldn't stop Deuce Vaughn running the football. And the offense did nothing, got shut down. Then once they got down big at halftime, they just didn't even give a shit, it looked like, in the second half. They didn't even try to mount a comeback in that game. You knew it was disappointing because I had the over, too, and it fell short because you got fuck all from the Oklahoma State offense in that game. So I still lean Kansas here because I just think off a bye week rested team, that's a great advantage for Kansas. But you do have a pissed off Oklahoma State team now. And you worry about that Oklahoma State offense revving it back up again because we know they were moving the football quite well on offense before that Kansas State game. And we know Kansas's defense is still very much suspect. So lean Kansas. But again, Oklahoma State off such a ugly loss, you think they're going to come to play. I'd still lean Kansas. I like the over, though, as well, 68. Kansas will move the ball regardless. And we'll see, too, if Jalen Daniels is ready to come back. I don't think so. I don't think he's ready just yet. They don't expect him back till early November, but this is going to be early November. So keep an eye on that. Maybe Jalen Daniels will return. And if not, it'll be Bean again. But I think Bean could still move the ball here. What do you think, Conor Mack?
Yeah, I think Bean can move the ball. I think his problem is just, some picks here and there. Yeah, I think this team, though, needed to buy, like you mentioned. The defense looked just gas, especially those last 2, especially to Oklahoma. Man, in the end, I was with you, though, with Oklahoma State. I didn't bet it. That game scared me. And just to see him not show up, I was just even like, what the hell? That's probably one of the worst performances I've seen from Oklahoma State ever with Gundy, at least. I have to go back and check. Sanders was bad, everything. And you mentioned once it was like 21-0, it was just over. Like they were up 7. They went for that 4th down. They got that touchdown. And then Vaughn just ripped off like an 80-yard. It was just over. Just over at 14-0. You got to think they'll be pissed off here. But I still kind of like Kansas a little bit, here at home. So I lean them. And I bet you there's points. Even that the bye, I don't know if that fixes the defense in just 1 week. I think we see points back and forth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the over could be in play. If I'm Lance Leipold,
shut out. Yeah. Oklahoma State, no points.
I agree. They'll be better offensively here for sure. If I'm Lance Leipold, you know what I say to my team as well? Like we have Texas Tech on the road, home to Texas, at Kansas State after this game. Everybody assumes we're going bowling. We still need one more win. And none of these games down the stretch are going to be easy for Kansas. They're not like automatic victories. These are all tough games. So don't take it. I say if I'm Lance Leipold, I'm addressing my team going into this game. I say, we got to get this shit done here. We're off a bye. We're at home. We got tough games on the horizon. We got to nail down bowl eligibility right now because that's what the goal should be now. I mean, there was talk maybe they could contend for the Big 12. That's not happening now, of course, 3 straight losses. But focus on bowl eligibility. You still need one more win to become bowl eligible. And this is not a cupcake schedule that you have here in the month of November. So, get it done, because for them to start, 5-0 and maybe not win another game and miss out on a bowl game, that would be just awful considering how well they started the season. But these are tough games. None of these remaining games for Kansas are gimmies.
Yeah, just and Oklahoma State's going to be pissed off. They better be ready to play.
Yep.
They better.